Welcome. This is Melinda Barlow, CZT, Certified Zen Tangle Teacher. And yes, I have been missing in action for a whole month. And I do apologize. I have no excuse other than I've been extremely busy with another project. But I was asked to do a commission piece for a dear friend of mine and for her sister's wedding. And her sister's another dear friend, and her dad's a dear friend, and her mom passed away, and she was my closest friend and longest friend. And so I stopped everything I was doing and did this commission piece. It's a poem that that my friend came up with, and I Zen tangled it. So today I'm just going to go over some of the tangles that I did on this commission piece. And so I did it on gray paper, which is lots of fun, with white and silver and black, and it was just lots of fun. So I'm going to set these aside, and I finally got them done, and I was really, the wedding's in 2 weeks, and I thought, oh, I have got to get those done. And so we're going to start out with one of the tangles, and I should have, it's this one right here that's running up the center, and then I'll go into some of these, this one on the side that is called Tootles. This is A-dalfa. These are called Tootles. And then we will see what we have. So let's start. I think I'm going to start on a gray tile. And because they're lots of fun to work on. And I'm looking for I organized myself, and then I think, well, maybe I'm not all that organized. So A-dalfa is a great border tangle. You can do it in a border, but I'm just going to run it up the middle of my tile, because then I'm going to put some other tangles next to it. And I have really need to come in so you can see. That might have been a little bit too close. So there we have, and just 2 lines about a 1/2 inch apart. And then we're going to do a flux that goes up and comes down to one side. Then we're going to rotate, and it's going to go to the other side. So this flux just rotates back and forth up this border, so you can see what a wonderful border tangle this is. And there we have flux, and then I come in and I aura this space. So I actually go up by the flux, back down, and then across that bottom again. So we get a nice aura. So it was kind of cool. And then we're going to aura inside again. Just another of that shape inside. And I'm going to fill these in, I think, as I go, so that it can, sometimes you get to see the drama a little bit better if you do it as you go. I might need a new pin, and so I'm going to Yeah, that has a little bit more ink. I go through a lot of pens, mainly because I'm very heavy-handed. Oh, well, there's no mistake in Zentangle, and I just filled this in without doing the aura. You probably realize that as sometimes when you turn away and you can make a wrong stroke and you have to figure out how you're going to fix it. Well, we're going to leave it like that for now, and I will figure out how I'm going to camouflage that. It probably won't even show up when I'm done. So there we have A-dalfa, and it's kind of plain, but once you do a little embellishment on it, it's a beautiful tangle. I loved how it turned out in my commissioned work. I'm going to go back in, and I like to put that little line in the flux. Because I think that helps it stand out. Now we're going to do Tootles. And it is kind of a little wavy line. And then you come back, aura, and come back in. So you get this really thin looking little leaf. Then we put some fescue on both sides. That's what I call that. And then we're going to come down around and meet in around that, and there we have our Tootles. And this can be done smaller so you get a smaller version. And I like to give that fescue some weight there. Come down, around, and then back in. And that one's going to go under that a little bit, using that little holly bow effect. That is always a fun little effect to put with your tangles, is to when they're squished in and you get that holly bow where it's kind of under. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these up, and they can be, so they're not symmetrical. So they get that organic look to things. I love organic tangles. I love free-form tangles where there's not much grid. You just tangle, kind of taking them out of their comfort zone. And there we have A-dalfa. Now, to liven this one up or give it some more pizzazz, we want to do some fill-ins. So my class would always say, you always do circles. This time I'm going to do Indirella, which are, I call them the little Wi-Fi. They start out and then it goes back down. So you get they don't even really touch each other. I think it's the only tangle where the repeating lines where the lines do not touch. I may be wrong, but I think that's what Rick said. So I'm just going to rotate this around a little and do some Indirella instead of what I normally would put in as a filler or circles. But another one that's fun with this one, and I did this on the commission piece, is to just do Springer where we just do that spiral, and it just spirals out. It's a good filler. It's a beautiful little tangle, simple. And it's one that you can kind of make it do that hollybaugh effect where it goes under. I'm not going to be able to resist doing some circles. I can see it coming, but I'll try to stay away from too many. I think that even Springer has enough of a circle, but sometimes I just want to fill in with orbs. Just some of those tiny spaces I will fill in with some orbs. Now this still needs, for me, it still seems like it needs something that, it just feels like there's something missing for it. So since I've got a little fescue right here, I can bring some fescue out and, you know, just give this tangle a little bit of more movement that comes out to the edges. And now to top this all off, we're going to shade. And I'm going to use a white Prismacolor pencil and a black Prismacolor pencil and a white jelly roll. And I'm going to need, because this gray tile is not real dark gray, we'll see how, and we may not be able to use the white Prisma. So we're going to come back in here and I'm going to use my black Prisma. I just did it right over where I did the white. The paper I used to do my commissioned work, it was a little darker gray than these tiles. I'm looking for a darker gray paper for tiles. I've had a light gray and I'm just really ready for something a little darker. And so now I'm going to take a shading stump and my odorless paint thinner, just to give you an idea of what. I don't know if I've got very much in there, but it doesn't take very much. Just enough to give it a little moisture. And you can see how that blends that black Prisma. And the reason I did this on my commission piece is they're going to frame it. And I didn't want graphite in there or chalk. I didn't want anything getting on the glass when it was being framed, and so that's why I use a Prismacolor. It's fairly permanent. So now I'm going to come in with my jelly roll, and I'm going to lighten up these little circles that I put in. And on camera you can see that it does lighten it up. But I'm also going to go back on my those little ones I did, and this one was the one I made that where we don't call mistakes. So I'm just going to put the dots on. I think it's already kind of disappeared. I'm using a 10 jelly roll. I like that jelly rolls, they come in different sizes. It makes it lots of fun to do when you can use a different size. I'm just going to see what white down the center, if I like that. It's very subtle. Or I can take my black and make it very black. This is when we're just going to see how that looks. And I can take my shading stump and blend that so we don't have any little white marks. It looks like little pencil marks. And you've got a nice shading effect on that. And a lot of times I've even come in and on Indirella, just give a little shading on one side and use your, you can, pick up a little color off of what you've already done and shade it. And then we're going to come in and just put some little dots in the background. I think Maria called it this and that, or I don't remember what she called it, but I've always done these. I've done these for a long time, and it just gives just a little extra background. Now, I need something up my A-dalfa. I think it's a little plain, so I'm going to put black here, dark at the bottom. We can go all the way up and just make that so it is dark all the way up. Shade those, blend that, and you've got a really fun look. I'm going to take my silver jelly roll and just add some little silver dots in this background to see if they don't kind of add a little shimmer. And you can always add just a few dots on your tangles that you've done. Remember, jelly roll doesn't dry as fast, so you've got to keep your hand away from it. And there we have our tangle for today. And I was just looking to see if these are available on Pattern Collections. TanglePatterns.com. PatternCollections.com has gone, their website's down. But so I think I will try to load these into my pattern section on my my web site, so you can go into inkadoodles.com and find these patterns, because a couple of them I think are no longer available online. You might be able to find them, but I dug these out of my my stash. I just signed it. You can sign the back, you can sign the front, but make sure you sign it. And I always say, put the date. Even if it's just the year, so that you know you can document when you did it. Sorry I haven't done for so long, but I'm getting back in the swing. After doing the commission piece, I really enjoyed tangling, and I just have a hard time finding time to film and edit. So thanks again for watching. Check the website out for the pattern step outs, and we'll see you next week.